All right, so I thought I'd real quick show you guys how to set up the tent on your Westfalia camper. So right here I have the aftermarket poles, and I'm going to show you basically the way to do this. I'm going to attempt to do this actually by myself. So let's see if it happens. It's really designed really for two people to do. But when I go camping, I'm probably not going to have two people because I don't think anybody wants to ride in this thing with me. And my wife certainly doesn't want to go in here. She says, there's no way I'm getting in that thing and going camping. It's too primitive, you know. So we'll see. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the method to do this. So if you have the first poles look like this. So you have this one. It has this lever on it. It goes on the front of the camper, and it has this type of a thing on the end. If your original ones, it's going to look slightly different, but it will have this little chain right here in a lock. So, and the other side, you'll start out with this piece going this way. This part here will be towards the inside. Okay, and here. Now these are screwed together if you're lucky enough that it still has the paint on it here, so that they'll have the pink ones over here and then the green will be together. So, but if you look for just this end and this end, you'll find that it works out. Now the next thing you're going to want to look for is the two with this color end. I guess it's kind of a white, looks almost not as pink as the other one. So, and then you want to find the two that have this type of an end with a hole in it. I don't know if you can even see that there's a hole there. There's a little hole in there. There it is. Okay, and you want to have both the poles look the same, and then you just screw them together. All the poles all screw together like that. So each one of these things fits in this bracket like this, and you put the pin through the little hole. That's why you want the one with the hole, just like that. So this is kind of where we're at right now. We got these things screwed together. We've got the pins in through these things through the bracket like this, the pin in through the bottom through the hole. Okay, everything's laid out like this. Now we're going to put on our center pole. So to put the center poles on, you want the one with the little bracket like here and the pin like that. Okay, and then they have matching colors, green, and then you put those together. So the pin on this center pole drops in through this hole on this arc, and then I believe we got this right. You put this in the hole. Then what you do is you put this in both holes like that. Kind of do this with one hand. Over here, the same thing. You're going to lock this pin into this hole. It's going to take two hands to do this one. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so you lock that pin into there. So now at this point, this is the tricky part. I've actually got to take this whole rack and without scratching the van, lift it up and put it into these carriers here. One here and one here. Now, of course this thing is painted and it's nice, so it's going to be a little bit tough to do. So you definitely need to have the doors shut at this point. So you can move things around and carefully do this without scratching it. And I'm going to try to show you guys that in a second, and hopefully I'll be able to do it. I'm sure I can. It's just not going to be very easy. It's really, like I said, two people should be, one person on one end, the other person on the other end should be putting this rack up here. And if you did it that way, you could actually put the tent on it first. So some guys will do it that way. But I'm not going to put the tent on because I don't want the extra weight. So what I'm going to do is and then when I get it up there, I'm actually going to put on this pole that goes across here. There's another pole. So let's take a look at that in a second and see how it goes. Now I've just realized I should have all the rest of the poles assembled and be ready to go, so that as soon as I get the tent on, I can start lifting it up and putting the stays in, which I'll show you how to assemble those right now and where they go. Then you can go from there. You could actually assemble, you could do this any way you want to make it work out for you, so you don't scratch your paint. But like I said, I'm going to try to do this one myself, so I might do it a little bit different than you do if you have two people. So what you need to do next is assemble these two. You got one with this end, another one with the same end on it. Okay, those two go together. So we'll assemble those. Then we'll assemble the two green poles together, whether if they're not green, it's okay, because one end's going to look like this, and one end is going to look like that. Okay, and that actually goes in the rear of the bus back here. Let's just look at this in a second. So let's take a look at how we got this laid out. We've got the rack all set up right here. We've got the pole, which this is going to slide inside the tent. This one is also going to slide inside the tent, but we're going to do that after we've got the tent up and all the mainstays and everything up. So we've got all these things here together like that. We've got these laid out the way that they're supposed to go. Now, this is going to be a little tough to do. This is actually going to insert in this hole, this S thing here. We'll insert in that hole, and when after you get everything in, then this will stand up, and then this end of it that looks like straight like that will end up in your bumper bracket. I'll show you guys here. Yeah, I drilled the hole the right size. So I made my bumper brackets like this. The original ones actually bolted to the bumper, but I didn't like that. I didn't want them to be in those holes, so I might have to do some bending here because I gotta make it fit the right direction. Looks like it's not wanting to go where it's supposed to go. Okay, at this point, since everything's laid out, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to shut these doors here and put this assembly up on the van, and hopefully it works out. Alright, so we're looking good. What I did is I lifted it up from the center bar, right about here where the green paint is, and carried it over and hooked one of the ends in here. Then set it down, walked over to this side, hooked this end in here without scratching anything. It's really not too hard to do. Now getting it to lift up while it's all assembled, that might be a different story. Well, let me show you the next step. So doing this part in a grassy area is really what you need to be in. The floor isn't that badly dirty here, but I really hate to get this tent dirty. But it's probably going to happen if you're going to try and do it. So you slide this bar through this portion of the tent. Now you have to figure out that all the little straps and all that stuff are on the outside of the tent, and the part that doesn't have the straps, which is this part right here, you want to slide it through. So slide this bar through there. Hopefully that works. You can see that okay. You'll see it on probably the next step here. Alright, so I got it hung up on here. Now what this does is that's going to actually hold these from falling out. I had to think about all this stuff before I did this, because I had it all laid out, and then I realized that I had my brackets not right. So these here will actually, these poles will go in here. This tent part is slid inside here, and now it's inside this portion. And now if you look here, the snaps are on the sides for your tent sides if you have them, and the straps and stuff like that are all here on the sides and on the very bottom. So I did get a little bit of dirt on there, but not too bad. So on the very bottom, and then you have it hanging just like that. So The next step is an idea that I have, and let's hope it works. Since it's all one frame and all together and strong, I'm hoping that I can do this without these bars falling out. And I think they kind of snap into place pretty strong. So when I lift this up, I'm hoping that this is all going to stay together in one assembly. And then I can get this bar to hook in the tent and get it into that stay. So what I'm going to have to do is have to lift this up, okay, and then I'm going to have this bar hooked in on this end, and I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to set this end into the little end into that stay. Well, there's something weird here I've got to figure out, because I think I'm going to have to raise these up a little bit more and take them off and raise them, because I've got my thing is like way too low here. So there's adjustments you got to make to get it right, but it is possible to do. But I'll tell you what the next step is, and then I'm going to have to end this short, but you think at this point you guys can figure out that you could do it by yourself. So what you do next is take this bar here back off, okay, and now that it's stabilized in place, take this bar back off, slide it through this channel that's in this end, and then adjust this properly here, the distance here, so that it fits. Put this pole back in these pins, and then just flip all the tent sides over, and you can see that this is going to happen. It could happen very easily. One person could do the tent. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to say taking it down might be a little tougher, but it's really not that bad. It's very doable, and that's how you do the tent by yourself. That's how you can do it. Now, this is way too low, so all my holes I know are drilled in the right place, so it looks like there's quite a bit of adjustment here. I can take this off, okay, and then lengthen this rod and make this go up higher. So that's how you do it. It looks like I'll have to do that on the next show when I go to assemble this up. All right, I'll talk to you on the next video.